Number 90 pitting in.
Hello and welcome everybody to.
Alright, Corey wants another pit party. Last one.
Give me a second, guys. Alright, let's try this again. G'day everyone and welcome to the Gladiator 150 here from the Texas Motor Speedway. We're here, at the newly reconfigured track, slightly flatter turns 1 and 2, new pavement all across the entire track. It'll be an absolutely epic race, and I do believe the drivers are just in the pit lane right now to get ready for a pit party with Chris Champeau and Jerry Glenn on track. But here is the pit party combatants being led away by the 4 of Jaron Sanchez. There's going to be a lot of ducking and weaving, dipping and diving here as everyone tries to figure out who's starting where. It looks like we're going to have Jonathan Hernandez on the pole, with Christian Budd on his outside, Jaron Sanchez out of third, and on his outside will be Blake Tarwick in the 56. Early signs so far look like it's going to be mostly single file around the bottom of this fantastic racing venue. We'll have to wait and see how that will unfold. We'll go green. Hernandez with a horrible start there off the pole. Christian Budd taking the full advantage, 3 wide for second place. Blake Tarwick on the outside, Treywick on the outside. I do that every week. Oh, and Hernandez has been turned by Matt Burgess. And we have a pile up. There's a Kemi's in there. Frank Isaacson's in there. The 7 of Harris is in there. Lots and lots and lots of dead people in that one. We see that on the back straight. Got Derek Myers with Jaron Sanchez there. Thomas Harmon survived that crash. So did Michael Sturgill and Mark Pentecoff. Although Thomas hitting the outside wall there on the exit of 4, going for a trip through the grass. At the moment, everything is looking pretty status quo, some would say. You see Christian Budd followed by Derek Myers there, coming into turns 3 and 4. You can hold 3 and 4 flat, but you've got to lift a little bit on 1 and 2. And it looks like everyone's starting to slow down. We might get a second attempt at a pit party here. Who's going to lead us off this time? Like some people shuffling around to different positions. Looks like we're going to have Treywick leading us off for the green flag. And his outside will be Travis Massier. Got Aspen Velvin in there and Matt Horton. Michael Sturgill in the 90 there, up there as well. And they're off and racing. A very uneven start this time. Blake Treywick already had the full advantage. We saw Jaron Sanchez getting loose there, just in the background a little bit. Oh! We've already got another big crash. Holy Jeebus. Frank caught up in it again. I saw Jaron in it again. There's Brandon Bennett behind Frank's smoking dead car. Go 3 wide coming out of 4. Oh! And Iona Shoe just got turned by Thomas Harmon. A lot of drama and death in these pit parties. As everyone's trying to get used to the new repave here at the Texas Motor Speedway. See the 84 of Aspen Velvin on the screen. Got 12 of Matt Burgess, who's just coming out of the pit lane. Just up ahead of these guys, we've got Matt Horton, Blake Treywick, and Travis Massier. These guys battling it out for pit party bragging rights. Derek Myers running the extreme outside line there, right up next to the wall. And that definitely did not work out for him. Oh, as we see Treywick getting loose. He holds it down there. Well done by Treywick. Derek Myers still trying to make something of that extreme outside line. Doesn't work. He slots just in front of Michael Sturgill. And yeah, he is just continuing to drop, but he's still going to try and work that outside line. Maybe try and widen up the racing line here a little bit. As I definitely heard an engine go bang then. Not sure who it is. They got themselves cleaned up pretty quickly there. We see Brian Harris battling it out with the 12 of Matt Burgess. Oh! 20 Derek Myers has gone around. The 90 of Sturgill is somewhat involved as well. We've got some people playing soccer with one of the green cones. Jaron Sanchez slots himself in front of this pack. Travis Massier get his way around Belvin and Harris. Just waiting to find... Oh, Harris got onto the apron, sent him sideways, and then Travis sent him for a ride to the wall. The 20 of Derek Myers going around again. He was lucky to not get collected himself there. Here comes the 19 car, that's Matt Horton. Working the inside of Travis Massier, gets it done very easily. Matt Horton on fresher tyres than Massier. By a long way too, about 11 lap fresher tyres. But currently our number one is Zach Floyd in the 28 car. Current best time is a 28.530. Absolutely amazing time. Just 0.02 of a second behind him is Christian Budd in the 50, with Matt Burgess sitting third so far. Derek Myers fourth, and Brian Chandler sitting currently in P5. So we know that these guys have definitely got some hot lap and pace. Whether they can match this in race pace and how much tyre it degrades while they're trying to run these faster laps. I mean, I am under the firm belief that being the leader will be the greatest advantage in a race like this. You'll have all that clear air in front of you and none of the dirty air until you get to lap traffic. We're looking now at the one of Brandon Bennett. Let's go on board with him, have a listen to what he's getting up to in his car. Hear how long he's lifted for. He's not even at full throttle yet. He probably is now. That's a long time being off throttle. See what he does in 3 and 4. Well, he's got to lift because of the cars in front of him going so slowly. That was Mark Penticup from the 5 that held him up. Michael Sturgill and Zach Floyd up there as well. Now he's going to make the move on Mark Penticup. And he pulls it to the infield. Just as I thought it was about to get good. But there is Sturgill currently working over the back of our Zach Floyd here. Currently 27 drivers signed up for the race, with myself included. It brings us to a strength of field of a 28.43. Absolutely amazing. And I do not have the lowest I rating, which is even more amazing. That currently belongs to the 5 of Mark Penticup, a 13.75. Oh, Christian Budd had a big mischief here somewhere. Go see what happened to Christian. Oh, it just stepped out sideways on him. And he had a Michael McDowell style roll. Those ones are definitely bell ringers. '21 of Brian Chambliss making his way back on the track. Jaron Sanchez on screen as well. Darren currently down in the 9th position with a 28.687. He doesn't like doing too many pit parties, that's why we only do 2. One before the broadcast and one after it. And now he's been shuffled down to 10th. Not sure who just pipped him there. I think it might have been Matt Horton, who not only got himself in the 9th, but now has got himself up into P6. And Matt Horton definitely on a flyer at the moment. Oh, and we've got a big crash here. See, Brian Chambliss is involved. I'm not sure who else was in it. That was pretty quick happening. I think we're going to have to do some adjusting on some of these cameras. Oh, Strank got into the side of Zach Floyd there a little bit. Zach now drops back behind Brian Pizzicami. Jaron Sanchez now looking to make a move towards the inside of Derek Myers into turn 3. He's got his nose up there. They go 3 wide with Michael Sturgill. Sturgill now drops back. Jerry Glenn on the back of Jaron Sanchez trying to give him some help. Derek Myers making that outside line work. And it looks like we're going to go 3 wide here with Jerry Glenn up on the inside. Jaron Sanchez quickly noped his way out of there as Michael Sturgill hits the apron and goes sideways through the grass. Oh, and Brian Beach has gone around somewhere else on the track. So was the 20 of Derek Myers. Now see the forward Jaron Sanchez trying to work over Jerry Glenn a little bit here. Jerry on 9 lap old tyres, Jaron on 10. And Jaron makes that move look very easy indeed. Jerry with a little bit more momentum using that slightly higher line. Trying to get back to Jaron. It's not going to work out so far. Clayton Ward decided that he wanted to join this battle as well. Clayton should have much fresher tyres than these guys. He's on 8 lap old tyres. So yeah, he definitely indeed has much younger tyres than these two that he's battling it out with. He's looking to the outside of Jerry Glenn. Backs it out and comes back and sits in behind him. Can definitely tell that he wants to try and get around these two so he can use his tyres to their max potential. But that's the thing with these single lane tracks. It's very hard to get around someone because everyone's running the same line. You're going to have to maybe risk doing a bump and run on them. We still only have 27 drivers signed up for this race. Looks like this might be the max that our field's going to have at the moment. As now we see Thomas Harmon battling it out with the 69 of Justin Vitello. Justin currently sitting in 5th with a 28.588. And that's definitely better than Thomas Harmon, who's down in 19th. 2/10 off the pace with a 28.789. Jabo working the inside of Thomas. And gets there very easily. Jabo with much fresher tyres as well. As Thomas goes up and gets in the wall. There's the 50 of Christian Budd. Now we see the 2 of Chris Champeau with a real funky paint job. And he's pulling it into the grass. I think he might have tapped the wall there on exit. That is a cool looking paint nonetheless. Now we see Christian Budd running the wall. With the 28 of Zach Floyd, who's now down to 2nd thanks to Christian Budd beating his time. See Brian Chambers just behind Zach here. Maybe trying to use some of that draft to go a little bit faster. And it should be a very close and intense race. Christian Budd's only 0.02 of a second faster than Zach Floyd. And that could be all just down to draft. Got a minute and a half left here in practice. So these guys will probably be trying to do their hot laps here. Unless people are already on a long run like Brian Chambliss. A lot of people will be wanting to just do a quick little qualifying simulation. I don't think that's what Christian's doing here because he just went around the outside of Brian Chambliss. There's a 38 of Thomas Harmon practically pushing the 5 of Mark Penjicuff. Same with the 20 of Derek Myers pushing the 42 of Evan Rice. Well, with 30 seconds to go, guys, we're going to go for a break. And when we come back, we will be setting the grid here for the Gladiator 150, live from the Texas Motor Speedway. setting the grid here for the Output Racing League Gladiator 150 here from the Texas Motor Speedway. On the pole, we are going to have the 69 car In Your Hearts, the 20 car on the track of Justin Botello. On his outside will be the 20 car of Derek Myers. Starting out of third will be the 50 car of Christian Budd, and fourth place will be the 13 of Travis Massier. The 7 of Brian Harris will be out of fifth, with the 42 of Evan Rice out of P6. Out of 7th will be the 18 of Brian Beach, who has just spawned onto the pit lane there. And out of 8th will be the 90 of Michael Sturgill. Brian Chambliss in the 21 will be out of 9th, with Zach Floyd in the 28 out of 10th. Darren Sanchez in the 4 car will be out of P11, with Mark Pentecoff in the 5 out of 12th. The 12 of Matt Burgess will be lining up in 13th, with the 84 of Aspen Belvin starting out of 14th. Jerry Glenn in the 98 will be out of 15th, and the 24 of Frank Isaacson out of 16th. Jonathan Hernandez in the 88 will be out of 17th, with Thomas Harmon in the 38 out of 18th. And the 2 of Chris Champo out of 19th. He will be the last car eligible for the Hard Charger Awards, so 19th position and above eligible for Hard Charger. Starting out of 20th will be the 56 of Blake Trewick. Cosman Ionishu out of 21st in the 48 car, with the 17 of Christopher Spencer out of 22nd. Matt Horton in the 19 car will be out of 23rd, with Dustin German in the 99 out of 24th. Brian Pizzicami will be lining up the 78 car out of 25th, with Brandon Bennett lining up in 26th, and Clayton Ward in the 44 car will be our last starter, starting out of the 27th position. So out of these 27, including myself, we have a strength of field of 28.43. We have 100 laps here of the Texas Motor Speedway. It should be an absolutely fantastic race. We rejoin our leaders here. It's time for us to get ready to let these guys rumble. Alright, the pace car is in. First starts on green, all restarts are on the leader. And we are off and racing. Justin Botello with a good jump right from the get-go, clearing Derek Myers already. The 50 of Christian Budd trying to work his way up on the inside of Derek to take away that second position, and he gets it done. And now he's going to start making his charge towards that 69 car. The 20 on track, the 69 In Your Hearts of Justin Botello. And already these guys at the front are racing very hard. We got 3 and 4 wide in the back. Have a look back there with the 42 car of Evan Rice, who was in the middle of 3 wide just before. Looks like they got themselves sorted out. And he is in the 7th position, now falling back to 8th with the 28 of Zach Floyd going up on his inside. Lots of action happening here right at the get-go. We're going to go back and check in on our leaders because they are racing hard for the lead here. The 50 of Christian Budd wants to take the lead away. Gets up on the inside with what I imagine was a fantastic move there on the back straight. And he takes the lead away from Justin Botello. Justin not wanting to let things lie like that. He's going to come back in turn 1 and 2 and try and take the lead away. Oh, and we've got contact there just behind these guys. The 20 of Derek Myers was half spun by Brian Harris. He's got it going again. Brian Harris surprisingly up into 4th there when that happened. Now starting to drop back, so is Derek Myers. Derek Myers dropping all the way back to about 12th or 13th right now. Battling it out with Travis Massier there in the 13th. It was 10th. As we go back to our leaders, these two are going to continue to fight it out here. It's the 50 of Christian Budd and the 20 of Justin Botello. It looks like they might just get sorted here with the 50 of Christian Budd being in the lead. Oh, but maybe not. Jabo still looking very racy here, maybe trying to take a move. We look out the front bumper cam of his car. Very close quarters there going through turn 1. We're looking out the back of Justin's car now. These guys have built quite the gap back to the cars behind them. And he's gotten the move made as well. It's Jabo back up into the lead. These two are going to be swapping the lead all throughout this race. As we go back to a more stable camera pack, so that way we're not jumping in between in-car cameras and stuff like that. Let's open up the radio waves and see what these drivers are talking about. As we see a hip and shoulder there in the background, I'm pretty sure that involved the 28 car there. And it was 28 to Zach Floyd. Not sure who else was in that. But it looks like for the moment these guys have got themselves sorted out here. So we're going to go back to looking at our leaders. And it's not bad at all. We're just going to take a couple of minutes to appreciate the awesome sounding engines that these cars have. We're going to go into static cam. We're going to listen to these cars rumble as the 50 car goes back up on the inside of Justin Botello to take the lead away again. Jabo trying to fight back on the outside, but it's time for us to crank it up. Alright, we're back. Absolutely awesome cameras there. Love the sound of these cars as they're coming whizzing past. At the moment, it's going to be the 69 of Justin Botello in the lead with the 50 of Christian Budd out of P2. These guys have just been swapping and changing the lead as often as they can. Looks like Christian's going to have another look on the inside now, coming into turn 1 and 2. And Jabo's going to let him have it. Jabo with a slightly wider entry into 1 there. Now he's going to use it to his advantage, using that momentum to try and get another switchback done on him into 3 and 4. These guys have been changing the lead more than a preteen changes their undies. And now Christian Budd with the run coming out of turn 2. Looking to the inside. And the crazy thing is, even though these guys are battling it out like this, they've got over a second lead to third place Evan Rice. And we have a caution on the track. See if we can see what's happened here. Oh! Brian Harris involved again. Back it up to there. Bring up the slow-mo. Oh, Brian Harris just gets into the wall. Oh, the 19 of Matt Horton was going around as well. That was a completely separate incident. Oh, but the 98 of Jerry Glenn, the 21 Brian Chambliss. Aspen Belvin very lucky to get through that. Treywick was involved. Now, let's go see here what happened to the 19, who had a completely separate deal going on here. See the 24 of Frank Isaacson running up very high there. Oh, Frank gets into the wall as well. Absolutely pounds the side of Matt Horton there in the 19 car, sends him through the grass. So let's keep an eye on Frank, see what happens with him. He's staying up high at the moment. The car's starting to come back around. You can see he's got the brakes locked up. Oh no, the 2 of Chris Champeau, nowhere to go. The 1 of Brandon Bennett just doesn't sneak by. The 78 of Brian Pizzakemi involved in that as well. So 2 separate incidents, very big incidents. Oh no, the 13 of Travis Massier as well. After looking so good. Oh. It's all just ended up in a massacre here for these guys on the front straight. Alright, let's see who's going to come out of the pit road first. It's going to be Evan Rice. Evan Rice, then Jonathan Hernandez, then Christian Budd, then Justin Botello. Evan Rice, he had a better stop as well. It was 2/10 better than Jaybo's stop and 7/10 better than Christian Budd's stop. I think Jaybo's big undoing there was he spun his wheels a lot coming out of his box. See the 21 of Brian Chambliss still on track in front of these guys as well. I think he might be going for a leader lap points here. Actually, no. Maybe? Yeah, he's got to be going for leader lap points. He hasn't pitted yet. He's on old tyres, and it would be very, very dangerous for him to continue on right now without pitting. As we now have an eerie silence as we're trying to figure out here who is going to be completely out. And it looks like Brian Harris has suffered irreparable damage. He's going to be out of the race. Matt Horton's been getting repairs done. Brian Chambliss is not pitting. Oh, here we go. He's pitting now. Good choice. Pizzakemi, Massier, Bennett, Horton and Champeau at the back, still all on the lead lap, although Travis Massier has now just gone a lap down. It's understandable. Got a lot of cars with a lot of damage. And we've got another lead change with the 42 of Evan Rice now being your pole sitter. We're on 1 to green. Remember, all restarts are on the leader. As soon as the pace car goes in, he can get going. The 88 of Jonathan Hernandez doing. Alright, the pace car's in. Evan Rice has control of the start. And he's off and racing now just before the drop of the flag. The Christian Budd taking the huge advantage right from the get-go there. And looks like Justin Botello was blocked out by Jonathan Hernandez, unable to take third away. Christian Budd now already working the inside line of Evan Rice. And he's going to take it here as they come through 3 and 4, which is still a flat out corner. See the 88 Jonathan Hernandez trying to get mixed up with these 3 leaders as well. Chris Champo's just a little ways up the track. He could be at risk of going a lap down here very shortly already. As these 4 now trying to extend the gap away from the rest of the pack. 42 of Evan Rice looking towards the outside maybe. He is looking towards the outside. Maybe trying to do the momentum gathering. Here comes Jabo. Up on the inside of Jonathan Hernandez. We've got a big battle going on in the mid-packs as well. Jabo takes third away now from Jonathan Hernandez, and Jonathan's going to drop back to 5th behind Brian Beach in the 18 car. Evan Rice still sitting right on the tail of Christian Budd. Christian running a very hard line there. It looks like he got a bit tight on corner exit of 2. Jabo up on the inside of Evan, straight up into the 2nd position. And now he's going to chase down Christian Budd in the 50. We've got a battle for 5th and 6th as well, as Michael Sturgill just overtaken Brian Beach in the 18 car. As we focus on these 2 leaders, Jabo going very high there through the tri-oval. I'm not sure what he was doing. Maybe preparing to try and do the big dive. He looks to the inside now. Doesn't look like he's going to have the momentum to make the move. Still no chance. Jabo not having it all his own way this time. As Evan Rice is also looking very racy on the back of Justin. This time out of turn 4. Justin looking very racy, trying to stick his nose up there. Didn't quite have it. But he's got it coming into turn 1 this time. Now the question is, can Christian hold on that outside line? Justin running the extreme inside of the track. Christian doing well on that outside line to hold on to it as well as he is. But he's just lost out this time coming off of turn 4. Evan Rice is going to try and stick his nose up there as well. And he gets there. Christian Budd down to third now. And J-Bo's got a little bit of a gap on Evan Rice. Can he continue to build on it? Maybe get away from these guys behind him a little bit. Either way, this is some fantastic battling between these three fast drivers. Christian Budd now trying to take away second place from Evan Rice. J-Bo just stoic in the lead right now. Christian's going to take away second. He's going to try and go for first already. Sticks his nose up on the inside of J-Bo very forcefully there. And that is going to be Christian Budd up into the lead again. Here comes Jonathan Hernandez now trying to take away third. I want to go and check out what's going on in the rest of the pack, but this race is at the front is just absolutely incredible. Who would have knew that a little bit of a track repave and redesign would have ended up in such awesome racing here for us at the Output Racing League. And these guys have been swapping lead every other lap, it seems. As they're now on the back of Frank Isaacson in the 24 car, damaged from that earlier incident. Travis Massier just up the road a little bit as well. Frank getting out of the way very smartly. And now they catch up to Travis Massier, who moves up to that little bit of a high line. Oh, J-Bo just about getting into the back of Travis Massier there. Now Evan Rice is going to use that to his advantage, try and stick his nose up there. Not quite able to get that done. Oh, Travis Massier maybe scared Brian Beach there a little bit in the background. And maybe our leaders are starting to chill out a little bit here. We won't know for sure because, well, every time I say that they are chilling out a little bit, that's when they start going a little bit crazy and start swapping the lead around again. So J-Bo got a little bit tight there coming up at turn 2. Lost a little bit of time to Christian Budd. And that allowed Evan Rice to close up ever so slightly as well. There's a look out the back of J-Bo's car to Evan. Gap is almost nothing. The next car on the list to go a lap down will be the two of Chris Champeau. Oh, and it looks like we're going to have a battle for second place here now. Evan Rice up on the inside of J-Bo. Gets the move made into turn 1. J-Bo running very wide on entry to 1 to allow it to happen. Will J-Bo do a return of serve here shortly? Maybe as his tyres starting to burn up a little bit. Oh, Christian Budd going very slowly. I'm not sure what happened to Christian there, but yeah, that was very slow moving by our leader here. Evan Rice going to come up on his inside and take the lead away. Christian Budd already looking to try and take it back, taking the very shallow line coming into turn 1. And it looks like Christian's going to get the move made coming off of turn 2, but it's going to be hard because Evan Rice on that outside line holding on to the momentum. Evan Rice still holding on to the lead right now, coming out of turn 4. We thought this was going to be a single file track. This is not a part of the script, Mr. Rice. Evan Rice now back into second as J-Bo is now going to start hounding the back of both of these guys. Gets back up on the inside of Christian Budd. I think Christian Budd is struggling for tyre grip. I mean, that's not very evident when he goes for his big dive bomb into turn 1, taking the very shallow line. He's not going to do that this time. Swings it out a little bit. These guys are also starting to catch up to some more lap traffic in the form of Chris Champeau. Christian Budd now off at turn 2. Who says he's wasting his tyres? Storming up the inside of Evan Rice. J-Bo sitting right on his ass as well. And that's going to be Evan Rice back to third. Getting a little bit tight off the corner, just about taking down the wall. That's going to be Christian Budd by Justin Botello and Evan Rice. And then back to Michael Sturgill, who has taken over the 4th spot. Where did he come from? And where is Hernandez? Hernandez has dropped down to P9. That's not very good at all for Jonathan Hernandez. He's in a world of his own at the moment here and back in 9th. But he was battling up towards the front with these fast guys, and it's all combinated in nothing for him. Alright, here we go now. Up into lap traffic again. It's the 2 of Chris Champeau. What will Chris do? Oh, Chris gives plenty of room to Christian Budd. And that's a serious country mile that he just gave them. Now J-Bo's going to try and work furiously over on the bumper of Christian Budd here. Can he take the advantage? Can he make the move work? He's ducking and diving and dipping and weaving. Trying to psych Christian out a little bit here. Maybe trying to make Christian go a little bit deeper into the corner than he would be comfortable with. Just trying to make Christian slip up ever so slightly. And you know you're in for a good race when you've got 2 5,500 I-rating drivers battling it out for the lead. And it looks like we might be in for a little bit of a lull in action now as the 50 of Christian Budd starting to pull away from J-Bo ever so slightly. But before we get too much into the lap traffic, as we're catching up back to Frank and Travis again, we're going to go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue on to either the next caution or green flag stops, whichever happens to come first. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Alright guys, we're back. And we are under caution for this incident here from Derek Myers. He runs a little bit too hard in turn 4. And he just gets loose coming off it. Sideways, trying to save it. Lucky no one's hit him. He's locked up the brakes. And he is safe from there. But that was enough to bring out the caution here in this race. Amazing save there by Derek Myers. As the field starts getting ready to go into the pits. And everyone should be pitting this time. We see the 50 of Christian Budd. 20 of Jabo. Trying to figure out where their pit stalls are. Now let's see how they're going to exit. Chris Champeau in the 2 car will be the lucky dog wave around. Oh, who's it going to be? Christian Budd with the advantage. Great race off pit road there. Jabo with a stop that was 0.3 faster, but was still just not enough to take the advantage coming out of the pits. As we see the 2 wrecked cars of Frank Isaacson and Travis Massier. They'll be coming to the pits this time. As they come across the line here, going to be Christian Budd by Justin Botello. Evan Rice still in 3rd, Michael Sturgill in 4th, Thomas Harmon up into 5th, Brian Beach P6, Cosman Ionishu in 7th, Matt Burgess 8th, Christopher Spencer in 9th, and Jaron Sanchez up into the 10th position. It'll be interesting to see how the race will unfold from here. We've got one more lap of caution, I do believe, and then after that, well, we've got another lap and a half of caution, and after that we should be going back to green. We're going to go back into the crank it up cameras so we can hear these guys just pacing around, because even in low revs, these cars sound pretty wicked. Probably see there are a couple of cars making some very late pit stops there under the caution here with 1 to go. Not sure whether they'll be looking for fresh tyres or just to try and get whatever damage they've got fixed. But you wouldn't expect them to be sitting in the pit lane for too terribly long. We've got Budd, Botello, Rice, Sturgill, Harmon, Beach, Ionishu, Burgess, Spencer, Sanchez as your top 10. Ward, Bevan, Pentecoff, Chambliss, Floyd, Hernandez, Horton, Pizzicami, German, Jerry Glenn as your top 20. With Myers, Champeau, Tarwick and Bennett rounding out your lead lap drivers. Isaacson and Massier at least two laps down and Brian Harris, our one and only DNF so far. We're coming out of turn 4. The pace car is going to go in, and it's going to be time to crank it up.
Go, go, go. Green flag.
Just as we come back to normal viewing, going to make a move around the inside of Christian Budd. Evan Rice looking to go with him. And Evan looking like he is getting that move done. Following Jabo is definitely a smart strategy. And the move is made. Here's Thomas Harmon up here as well into P4. We haven't seen too much of Thomas. He had a bit of a bad qualifying, being a couple of tenths off the pace. We also got the 90 of Michael Sturgill looking very racy here, just behind Thomas as well. It looks like the top 8 are separated by less than a tenth of a second. In fact, I dare say the top 9. As now the 50 of Christian Budd working on the inside of Jabo again. Jabo not looking too comfortable there on the outside line. Car looking like it was a little bit of a handful to drive that time. But that's going to put Christian Budd definitely back into the lead. As it looks like we had a little bit of a satellite issue there. But now Budd and Botello racing it out here for the lead again. These guys are going to be battling it out like this for most of the race unless disaster were to strike for one or both of them. Jabo now with a big dive up on the inside. Takes the position away from Christian Budd, but Christian looking to do the switchback on the back straight, and he's got his nose up there. Got a little bit more battling in just behind these guys as well. It looks like Thomas Harmon was just fending off the charge from Michael Sturgill. When's Jabo going to make his next move? Is Justin going to do it here in 3 and 4? Oh, he thought about it. He definitely thought about it. He might be trying to just see if there is a chance that he could try and do that move later on in the race. At the moment, just searching around. Looks like Justin, after trying to make that move into turn 3, he's just lost a little bit of time here. Not sure whether that might have slightly overheated his tyres a little bit, and he's got to get them back down into an operating temperature. At the moment, it looks like this gap is holding on pretty solidly. It being just a 10th and a half. Jabo not really making any inroads into Christian's lead. And ever so slowly, these guys have actually started to pull away from Evan Rice as well. Oh, and as I say that, Jabo now, big dive up on the inside into turn 1. And he takes the position away. Christian, though, he's going to come back again with the momentum coming out of turn 2. That high side momentum in turn 2 is pretty OP at the moment. As Christian now takes the lead back away from Justin. And Thomas Harmon wants to try and get up in all this as well, looking to make a move on Evan Rice, unable to do it. And now Jabo back up on the inside. He's hoping that Evan sticks his nose up there as well. It's not going to happen. And Christian Budd using the apron a little bit to try and get back at to Justin. And now they're going wheel to wheel, side by side into turn 3 and 4 again. And this time they got Frank in the 24 car. Trying to use him as a pit was the 50 of Christian Budd. And Thomas Harmon battling for that 3rd position on the inside of Evan Rice. In fact, he could try and get Jabo here for 2nd as well, possibly. And he is there on the inside of Jabo and Evan. And Thomas actually unable to make the move stick on Justin. Justin on that high side. Absolutely flooring it to keep ahead of Thomas. But Thomas is still up into P3 in front of Evan Rice now. Justin now working in turns 1 and 2. And this time Christian's not going to get that switch back to the inside run that he's been so used to getting. Justin just checking his car up enough to hold on to a side-by-side position with him. And that 2nd groove is definitely starting to come in. Both grooves are pretty much about even in 3 and 4. Low groove still has the advantage in 1 though. And there's the evidence of that with Jabo taking the lead away. Christian now trying to do the switchback again. And this time he's got it done. But will Jabo hold on to it on the outside line? We saw Christian using that to his advantage before. Jabo still leads that lap. Some absolutely fantastic battling going on here. And Jabo now 1 and 2 holding it on the outside. And he's not letting Christian Budd get the advantage. Absolutely worldly driving by Jabo on the outside line, but this time Christian Budd is going to take it away from him good and proper. It hasn't completely cleared. And Ionishu now wants in on this battle. We got a battle in the top 6 for the lead. So we can also see some moves being made in that 2nd pack. I think that was about 6th to 10th. Sorry, 7th to 10th, sorry. All 4 cars in there. And Christian Budd now working over the lap traffic. That is going to be the 98 of Jerry Glenn. But he's still got to worry about Justin right on his tail there as they're starting to catch up to Travis Massiel once more. now Justin just starting to fall back away from Christian Budd here a little bit. Maybe being on the outside for so long, burnt up his tyres a little bit too much. We'll have to wait and see, because every time I say that, he just comes flying back in there. Evan Rice still looking very racy here on the tail of Justin Botello. Can Jabo hang on? It looks like we've also got a pit stop being made, a green flag stop by the 21 of Brian Chambliss. Not sure what's happening with that. Whether this is a planned or an unplanned green flag stop. I guess that's something that we're just going to have to wait and see. Jabo now under attack from Evan Rice. Runs the very high line to allow him through. That's Jabo back into third. Evan Rice now up into P2. And now Evan's going to have his crack at Christian Budd. He works on the inside as they come into the tri-oval. Can he take the lead away? And he does it now going into turn one. Christian Budd, he says, I've been playing this rodeo the whole race. Oh, Evan Rice blocking the 50 of Christian Budd, making it unable for him to do the crossover move. Very smart play there by Evan. As these guys now come into the pits for a green flag stop. That was unexpected. Everyone coming in for green flag stops now. Jabo has actually already completed the green flag stop. Michael Sturgill in a 90 car, currently the leader. Michael Sturgill now holding on to a very slim lead over Thomas Harmon. I think Michael's going to be coming into the pits this time. It's going to leave Thomas Harmon in control of this race. His nearest competition is 2 seconds back. That's Dustin German. Now it's going to be a question of when the 38 car here of Thomas is going to come into the pits. On 31 lap old tyres. And looks like Justin Botello in the 20 car starting to get some momentum back. has just unlapped himself from Thomas Harmon. Derek Myers still on track in second as well. Kizakami, Bennett and Treywick are also among the cars who haven't stopped yet. That was Chris Champeau. He hasn't stopped yet either. But at the moment, it's looking like Jabo has pitted perfectly to his advantage and has a monumental lead over the 50 of Christian Budd, who we can see just behind Thomas Harmon right now. As Thomas this time comes into the pits. Let's go see what Derek Myers is going to be doing. Oh, Derek Myers battling it out with a lot of guys who are on fresher tyres. Oh, Derek Myers getting into the wall a little bit. But staying out on these old tyres is definitely not going to be helping him any. Derek Myers still refusing to come into the pits. I'm not sure whether it's a choice thing anymore. Let's go back in and check in with the people who will be our leaders though. Justin Botello, currently sitting in third, waiting for Treywick and Myers to come in for their pit stops, who both of them have still not pitted yet. Holding on to what would be about a 1.5 second lead over Christian Budd here, who is currently sitting in fourth. There he is right there. There's the gap. Not very big. It says about 1.5 seconds. Maybe about to push 2. But these guys definitely spice things up a little bit. We have 13 laps to go in this race. Go back to check in on our actual on-track leader. Still not coming in for a pit stop. He's only got about 9 seconds before Jabo is on him. He could be trying to push to the end of the race here though. That's not outside of the realm of possibility. I think Blake Treywick in the 56 trying to do the same, but he's got Jabo right on his ass right now. And here comes Jabo up into P2. We go back to having a look at our on-track leader. If Derek can pull this off, it'd be an absolutely worldly move. We've got 10 or 9.5 laps left in this race. And now Derek Myers coming into the pits. Oh, very sketchy pit entry there. And that's going to give Jabo the lead of the race back. I think Blake Trawick is going to be looking at pitting as well, maybe, possibly. No. He's staying out. Christian Budd's gone around him. Evan Rice is catching up to him as well. But at the moment, it's all Jabo. If Justin can't win this from here, then something is wrong. Justin still holding on to about a 1 second lead here over Christian Budd. I think Justin might be just looking after his tyres ever so slightly here. Doesn't want to overstress them, so that way if Christian does catch him, he's got something to fight with. As we're now coming up to 5 laps left in this race. Derek Myers now buried down the pack, going a lap down. It was a great strategy at first, but it wasn't one that was quite going to work out. Blake Trawick is also in the pits. But he couldn't hold out for the rest of the race either. Not sure whether it was a fuel thing or whether it was a tyre situation. Justin Botello. This will be 2 in a row, maybe 3. Either way, he's absolutely schooling these guys about how to race. Evan Rice has made the move up around Christian Budd into P2 as well. So the race is not over yet. With 3 to go, anything can still happen. These guys have been steadily closing in on Jabo. We come out of turn 4. It's going to be 2 to go this time. Does Evan Rice or Christian Budd have anything for Jabo at this point? White flag last lap, last chance to win it or wear it, but Justin Botello. Coming through turn 2. I don't think these guys have anything for him. He's just doing enough to hold on. works his way through 3 and 4 this time. Evan Rice tried to go in as deep as he could, but it's not going to be enough as they come out of turn 4. Jabo, Justin Botello with the win, Evan Rice in second, and Christian Budd in P3 through the grass. There's a wreck behind there. Let's see what happened here, because that was nuts. Alright, Christian just all by himself went through the grass. Alright. Looks like the 20 of Derek Myers did the same. Alright guys, we're going to go for a quick break. When we come back, we are going to have driver interviews. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Alright guys, we are back, and it's time to reveal our Hard Charger Award. And today's Hard Charger, for no apparent reason whatsoever, is going to be the 38 car of Mr. Thomas Harmon. Thomas, I don't know what the hell you're doing qualifying that far down, but congratulations on the Hard Charger, mate.
Thank you. I was having troubles with the track, trying to get it down all throughout the practice, and then obviously in qualifying too. I don't know if I wasn't lifting soon enough or not driving in hard enough. I had no idea what I was doing right or wrong. But I wish I could have finished about 8 spots higher, maybe 9, but apparently 2 tires worked out better than 4 tires. And right after I come out of the pits, I got a couple cars to draft off of, but then a massive gap, and it just kind of stalled me out there.
Yeah, well, we noticed after the pit stop cycle, you had dropped down quite significantly after having a run up there at the front. Was that just a bit of a slow pit entry or exit, or was something wrong with the pit stop, or was it just getting stalled out too much?
I stayed out a little too long, hoping for a caution, didn't get one, and so that put me way behind him to begin with. And then I don't know who all went with 2 tires and who went with 4 tires, but I went with 4, not trusting myself with 2, and it cost me a lot of ground, having to check up and almost taking Derek out. Didn't help, gave me a little damage to the front of the car, and then right after I got by him and the 18 car, it was just a big old dead zone until I started getting the slower lap cars to draft off of and pull me up to everybody.
Well, we did notice that just before that green flag stops, you were doing very well for yourself, up in the top 4, battling it out with the guys who had been swapping the lead around all day. What was it like for you just battling through the pack to that point?
Nerve wracking. Like I said, I was struggling with the track. Um, this is the first time I'd run on the new surface, which same could probably be said for a lot of people, but I definitely wasn't grasping it, and um, having to deal with what we saw in the pit parties, and then close quarters, no resets throughout the race. It was just kind of nerve wracking. I had to take my time picking my way through, and with the no arrow push, it definitely hurt. I couldn't run the way that I normally run and pick people off as the tires got older.
All right, man. Well, before we let you go, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to, like your car painter?
Yeah, shout out to Scott Pechorowitz, I believe is how it's pronounced. I could be wrong. Um, he put the paint together for winning the Flying Aces race. I think 2 Saturdays ago it was. He has a prize for winning that race. And then shout out to you up in the booth, um, Jaron for putting on league, all the drivers that come out every week, all the fans that watch every week, and my daughter for choosing the scheme for my car.
Alrighty, mans. Well, congratulations on your hard charger award. I actually haven't checked to see where we're at next.
Bristol.
Bristol. Oh, we know that you're always excited for Bristol.
Always. I'll be qualifying there too.
Alrighty, man. No worries. Well, good luck for next week. Not that you need it. And hopefully we see you up here for a top 3 rather than a hard charger.
Hope so. I'll see you next week.
Alrighty, guys. So that was the 38 of Thomas Harmon, today's hard charger. After I nearly made a mistake. So now we're going to bring up the guy that I was going to accidentally bring up first because I'm an idiot. We are, of course, talking to today's 3rd place getter, but don't let that subtract from the amazing race that was the 50 car of Christian Budd. Christian, absolutely incredible racing there between yourself, Jabo, and even Evan Rice there in the later stages. What was the race like for you with the close, hard battles that you guys were having?
Yeah, it was a good race. Both those guys did a good job too. We weren't running each other over or wall dooring each other to get positions. Everybody's really respectful on the track, which always makes that a lot of fun. As far as the driving the car, that part was pretty easy. It was a timing thing. That was the biggest thing I noticed was, you had to really, I wanted to lead the laps. It was my goal. And, you could make a pass out of 1, they'd get you out of 2. So you were trying to always time these things so that you were the leader when you came across the stripe. But the car, it got tight and it kept getting tighter and tighter. and so you still had to be trying to save your right front like you always do. And I thought I was doing an okay job of that. And it was looking okay. Thought I was going to be maybe have a shot at winning it, and then the pit stuff just didn't really work out. But congratulations to Justin. He drove a great race, and couldn't catch him at the end. I was trying to.
Yeah, well, let's talk a little bit about the pit strategy there coming to the end of the race. Was that a tire deal or was that more a fuel deal? Because we just a little bit quizzical as to why everyone was pitting there.
Yeah, you could only go about 46 laps, and I think we came off a pit road with 52 to go or something. And I was trying to save some under the caution, turn the car off, and all that. But when we restarted, we had 50 to go, and there was really pretty much no way. I think a couple guys, maybe Blake, was trying to save, and that didn't work out for him. You just lose too much time trying to save that much fuel. So the call, we actually saw Evan and Justin almost finish next to each other there. The 2 and 4 tires, it was kind of a wash. So it really came down probably to more track position and how you caught the traffic and everything, and how you worked through traffic. There at the end, I saw Evan coming, and I could maybe have held him up a little bit more, but I figured, maybe he'll go up there and those two would tangle, and I could still sneak one out, but that didn't work out either.
Now let's talk about the moves that you were making. We noticed that one of your more favorite moves throughout the race was, someone can go up on my inside in turn 1, but I'm just going to turn down on the exit of 2 and get them going into 3. How's the calculation going into making those kinds of moves pretty much every single lap?
That really came down to the timing, and basically you couldn't really stay on their outside through turn 1 and 2. There just wasn't enough grip out there, so they were going to get you off that corner anyway. But a lot of times, you wouldn't be able to translate that into anything if you just hung out there on the outside of their quarter panel going into 3. They just were going to drive past you on the bottom. So the goal basically came, okay, they're going to dive it in there. Now I'm going to lift a little harder, get on the gas a little earlier, get the run coming right off the corner. And the car on the bottom at that point is wide open and they can't turn down with you. They can't block that move. So then you're underneath, and once you're underneath, you're there, and you're going to be able to drive right past them in 3 and 4. So that was the goal. That was what I was trying to do the whole time. It seemed to be working out okay. I don't know if the other guys were pulling that on me as much, but I didn't really. Just always trying to avoid that happening, lifting it early enough that they couldn't just cross me over that way. So.
It definitely looked like you were the main instigator of that move. I'm not sure what was going on in the back of the pack because the battling at the front was just so amazing that it held our attention there. But let's look forward to next week, man. We're going to Bristol, the last great Coliseum. What's the feeling like heading into the short tracks?
Yeah, Bristol was an interesting track. It's not my favorite short track that we go to, but I'll appreciate the lower downforce and the higher horsepower once again, and hopefully we'll have a fun and entertaining race, and it'll be hopefully a clean race, and guys won't just be driving into everybody's doors and wrecking everybody the whole time. That's what makes Bristol fun. Is if you start getting long runs, tires start wearing out a little bit, but we'll just have to see how that goes. But it's a good track, and try and put this 50 car in victory lane one of these days.
All right, man. Well, before we let you go, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to here?
Really all I'm going to say this week is just we got a lot of stuff going on with this virus and everything, and I hope everybody stays safe and healthy. It's definitely uncertain times we're living in, so everybody watching, everybody in this race, in this league, hope you take care of yourself and try not to put yourself in any dangerous situations.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much. Congratulations on your podium. We look forward to seeing what you can do next week at Bristol.
Thanks.
All right, guys. So that was the 50 of Christian Budd, today's third place getter in what was an amazing drive the entire race there with Jabo. We can see the battle on screen right now. It's just absolutely amazing. But before we get on to Jabo, we're going to get on to the second place finisher for today. And what was a great effort, especially towards the end of the race where he just seemed to really start to come on. We are, of course, talking to the 42 car of Evan Rice. Evan, great finish, man. P2. And what was the deciding factor in you getting that? What happened in that last pit stop that your car just flicked the switch and turned on?
Well, it wasn't. I mean, I enjoyed the car all race, to be honest. I like this track a lot, especially with the new configuration. But the difference was Justin and Christian actually took 2 tires and I took 4. And going into the stops, it never even crossed my mind that they would take 2. I thought everyone was just gonna take 4 and fuel as per usual. But when I saw him pull out of his box and I was still sitting in mine, I was like, oh, I guess that might be a viable strategy. And it was, because it won Justin the race, really. I mean, if there was one more lap, I think I would have gotten him. But yeah, that was the difference. I had 4 tires and they had 2, so that's why I was so much faster than them.
I mean, there was some fantastic battling throughout the entire race, especially towards that middle to end stage of the race. And you were there or thereabouts for pretty much all of it. We're looking at screen right now of you just getting around the 18 of Brian Beach, and it was an amazing race at the front. What was it like for you, dicing it up for the lead pretty much any single lap when you're all on the edge of disaster all the time?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It honestly might be the most fun I've had in a league race. But honestly, I was content with riding in third for most of the first 2 stints. I thought that Justin and Christian were the 2 fastest, and I might just have to settle for third. And but I'm glad the race panned out the way it did with a green flag pit stop at the end there, and strategy came into it.
It definitely put everything on its head, and just having a look, you definitely had the fastest last couple of laps here. Your last lap was a 29.819, which is a full 2/10 faster than both Christian and Justin. So that's no mean feat at all there, man. You should be absolutely proud of yourself.
Yeah, the 4 tires almost worked. I think if there was 101 laps in the race, I would have gotten him, because I was catching him by about 2/10 a lap. So yeah, it was pretty close there.
All right, man. Now next week we're moving into Bristol. Low downforce, high horsepower. What's the feeling like going into the first short track of the season?
Honestly, not too great. Short tracks aren't really my forte, so honestly, I'm just hoping to get out of there with a decent run and not wind up having to tow or escape early, something like that. Wind up wrecked. Just trying to have a clean race and not get wrecked.
All right, man. Well, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to before we let you go?
I guess just a shout out to Christian and Justin for the great race, and shout out to you for the great broadcast.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing what you can do next week.
All right, thanks.
All right, guys. So that was today's second place getter, Evan Rice in the 42 car. Absolutely amazing driver, and very quietly spoken as well, as we're trying to get back to green flag racing here in the replay. Coming up next, we've got today's winner. Everybody knows him, our newly partnered streamer on Twitch, owner of a stream team over on Twitch as well. We are, of course, talking to the 69 in your hearts and the standings, the 20 car on the track, Mr. Justin Botello. Justin, woo! You are making a habit out of this, man, and I love it.
I cannot believe it. It has been a good 2 weeks for me, man. I've been enjoying it. It's been really good racing, man. Clean racing. So much fun. Can't say thank you to everybody who's put on this league, man. Awesome racing. Awesome.
Now, the entire race, you and Christian were just putting on an absolute show, battling it out. And then after that first caution, Evan Rice joining in on it as well. And towards the later stages, Thomas Harmon. Just seems like you guys were passing each other every other lap for the lead of the race, and it was an absolutely amazing show to watch. What was it like for you in the car?
I enjoyed every lap of it, man. It was so much fun. Christian up there, Evan, and Thomas, they're all racing really good, man. Really clean racers, great people. They know what they're doing out there, and it's fun to race with them. We come out here and have some fun. And class, me and Christian were going at it for about the whole race. I mean, up until lap 75, we were going at it. Like lap after lap, we just kept going at it, and it was so much fun. It was a really good race, man.
It looked like a really good race, man. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed sitting here calling it, and I could only imagine how much fun you had in the car. But let's talk about the pit strategy part of it for a second, and the only green flag stop of the race. You came in a lap earlier than the other guys at the front, and took 2, but still made it work. But were you starting to get a little bit nervous there in that last lap with how quickly Evan was starting to catch you?
Yeah, he was absolutely flying, and I know it was like 5/10 with 2 to go, and then he was right on my bumper coming to the checkered, so it was just absolutely insane. He was flying, but what really made the difference was my pit entry, man. That gave me so much time, it gave me the advantage, gave me that 2-second lead to probably win this race and to pit a little bit earlier than everybody else. I think that's what made the difference. So great call, great strategy, and it worked out.
It definitely indeed worked out. But next week, man, we're moving on to Bristol. We know that that's Thomas's favorite short track. What's the feeling like for you going into the first short track of the season?
I couldn't be more excited. It's my favorite too. My favorite short track. Hopefully, we have another good finish over there. It's been a lot of fun though. I love Bristol. It's my absolute favorite short track, and I hope we do well over.
All right, man, that's absolutely awesome to hear. Now, this should actually put you in a pretty good position points-wise as well. Let me just bring up the standings here to see if they've updated yet. And I think they have. You are up into 8th position at the moment, man. So not doing too badly. Only 64 off the lead. Are you going to make a proper run at this championship, do you reckon?
We're trying to. Just got to try and win as much as we can, man. I know I missed a couple of races, so if I can just keep this pace going and try and win, we'll be good. So just try and finish the best I can and try and win every week. That's the number one.
All right, man. Well, before we let you go, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
I give a shout out to Splash and Go Graphics and Sim Performance Group. Great colors on that paint scheme, and paint scheme looks great. Twitch channel Just Below 20. Hell yeah, we have a party over there. It's always a good time. And Outrun Esports for being a great team on Twitch. So thank you. And thank you for broadcasting this race always, Corey. And thank you to Jaron for the best league on iRacing, period. So.
Alrighty, man. Well, thank you very much for coming and racing with us. Congratulations on your win. And we look forward to the race between you and Thomas next week at Bristol.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait.
Alrighty, guys. So that was the 20 car of Justin Botello, as Discord got a little bit funky there. Getting the win and taking home the guts and the glory. But guys, this is going to end the broadcast here. Thank you all for coming out. As I said, it's been an absolutely amazing race today. Great racing there between Jabo, Evan, and Christian. They should all be very happy with the way that they performed today. But until next week, guys, when we're at the Bristol Motor Speedway, thank you guys for coming out, and we look forward to seeing you all again next week.